I'm going to show you guys a much easier way to prime your new braking system. I just put a new cable, powder coated the calipers in the reservoir, and it sat empty and dry for a couple months while I was building this bike, and now I can't get it to prime. So I thought, after spending about an hour yesterday getting frustrated, pumping the brakes, draining, it wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't building any pressure because I still had a ton of air in these lines. So I thought, why not just feed it from the bottom? So I have this little suction, which is the Mixamizer. I use it to mix two-stroke oil. So I cleaned it out with some brake parts cleaner, made sure it was nice and dry, got some clean hoses. This is the hose from my brake bleeding reservoir, so it's never been used for anything but brake fluid. And we're using some .4 brake fluid. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to suck the air from the top down to the bottom here. Suck it straight down through here, pull it out, and bring the fluid from the reservoir up top all the way down through this line, and pull the air bubbles out the bottom and see if it works better that way, because I cannot for the life of me get any pressure on this. Before I do, I'm going to tighten up these crush washers because they're all new. Make sure I don't have any air entering from anywhere else, and then we'll get right to work on it. So let's go ahead and do that. I have a 14 here. Tighten that one up. That's good. Check this one. That one's good. Take the lid off the reservoir. Now that you have the reservoir open, go ahead and pull a little suction on this. You usually get 1 or 2, maybe 3 bleeds. So now the line is pressurized. We open this up, close it, pull it out a little bit more. Check your reservoir. Don't let it get empty up there. Up again.
Another point in my game, and I'm the god figure poor in the rain. I'm a real one, too much of a force to contain when I forge through a page full of thoughts of the brain. By any means I put a pure spits to shame. What I depict on scripts too much for the man there. And I keep calm with more shit to spray when I'm letting off this and the clutch on the magnum. See you making that P in the fashion. Most of these MCs are straight gassing. Yeah, they getting paid on the JSA, feeling something like the guy got drink with a madman. Bagging up when I'm racking hits by the minute I'm sick with the lyrics. And I'm be backing up, you're with a little more flesh and matter. Cause when I rat the top balls, watch how bad man scatter. When I touch mic, I see them as cause if I had a clutch on a magnum.
This is all new fluid, so I can recycle it. So, pull this off. Let it all drain into the suction, into the syringe, and then push the syringe back up so you can take another pull. Put it back on. Tight. Pressurize it. Open it. Close it. Pressurize it. That was a lot. Check your reservoir. You know what? We're pretty much empty. So let's just the syringe and fill it that way too. And you can see in there, there's a little bit of corrosion. So let's clean that out and then we'll fill it from the bottom. Okay, now we'll fill it from the bottom. Alright, once you have that cleaned up, you want to try to clean that up as quick as possible because you don't want that stuff sitting on painted or powder coated parts. It is corrosive, so try to clean it up as quick as possible. And now that we know it's full, we're just going to take this and get some out of there so we can put our lid on and test our pressure.
Road boy bass, mash up the place. And fuck you.
Okay, good. Keep prime. Okay, so just to wrap up, what we did is pull this off here. You pull your reservoir, your bleed line cap off. You take your 8mm wrench and you use it to open and close this valve. Fill your syringe up with your fluid. I filled it up all the way and it was more than enough inside this one syringe to make it through the caliper all the way up into the reservoir and fill the reservoir as you saw in the video. So you take your tube and you put it on top, make sure it's sealed, open up your valve, and then slowly push in, depress the syringe, feeding the brake fluid from the bottom all the way up the brake line, which I need to feed on the outside of that plate, I know, into your reservoir. And as you saw in the video, it pushed the air bubbles from the bottom to the top, which is the natural direction that they want to go, and pushed them right out the top of the reservoir, and it was immediately primed. Now I have front brake, and that pressure is freaking amazing. That's great pressure. So I did the same thing on the rear brake, and I must have fiddled with these brakes, pumping them the old school method, open the valve, trying to prime it, hold it in, release the valve, let it bleed, close it, slowly open it, pump the brakes, zero pressure. And then the minute I did it this way, it took less than half the time. I mean, it's a 10-minute video and I didn't really cut much out of it, except for a couple little spots where I needed to go get tools. So really, really effective, and just a freaking foolproof way to get your brakes bled. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, like and subscribe. If you notice anything, Subaru's not here anymore. That last video ended abruptly because I was at a tipping point. I got to the point to where I don't have sponsors and I don't have funding, so it's all out of pocket and hobby whenever I do this to post these videos. I got the Subaru, and it was actually a really fun project, and I learned a lot to do it, but they were both about equal value to me, the Subaru and the CR. More sentimental in the CR, so I posted the Subaru for sale, and like a couple days later I posted the CR for sale, but I didn't any more than post that Subaru for sale, and it was gone. So I got enough to be able to pay off the majority of what I spent on the CR, so I'm able to keep the CR, and I think I'll have more fun with that. Anyways, as you can see, we're still posting videos about it, and as we break it in and use it, it'll actually become more of a token, or it'll be a part of the channel. Anyways, I got some more things for the CR2, so that should be kind of a fun little project. I think we might work on some lighting because I'm going to make it a woods bike, so we're going to try to figure out what we need to do in order to rig up some lights without splicing into the stator. Don't want to mess with the wiring, so we're going to figure out a nice lightweight method to add a battery on this thing and put a light bar and maybe a tail light on it. But anyways, that'll be it for now. Hope you enjoyed the brake bleed video, and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks, guys. Peace.